Investing in the healthcare space, as we've learned through the pandemic, is how important this actually is to our lives. What we've learned as well is how key they are in terms of innovating and the speed at which they can innovate. And that's something that is uniquely positioned right now, given the opportunities available in the space. The healthcare sector is trading at historically low multiples, as you can see from a price to earnings ratio relative to the S&P 500, as well as its own self through time. Not only that, it offers lots of defensive characteristics for investors that really want to create a ballast and forward-thinking, innovative sleeve in their portfolio. With the launch of this fund, we really wanted to focus on three key aspects that really will benefit investors. The first one being yield. So we wanted to diversify in the space instead of just being a leader in terms of growth and actually security selection for that growth, but actually being really mindful about how do we reward investors as well through a yield. When they're holding on to it and down in sideways markets, we really wanted to provide that kind of ballast and the balancing act there. We also really wanted to focus on innovation instead of just focusing on the blue chip names that you can find in many other portfolios. We really want to diversify down the market cap lens as well, and really look at the mid cap, small cap names as well that could be potentially the real growth opportunities going forward in the long term. And lastly, a big key of this as well is, of course, employing Eden Rahim as our portfolio manager. So with a portfolio manager like Eden Rahim on the fund, we have a dedicated expert that not only knows from an active management point of view how to make the best selections in terms of equities and which ones to really drive returns going forward. We have an expert that also knows the math and science behind the decisions as well, and how these companies are actually truly functioning, with an academic background for that as well. With the help of Eden, we've been able to incorporate an options overlay strategy, whereby Eden will write call options on the strategy itself, on the fund holdings. And a key differentiator of that, next to a typical option strategy, instead of writing on an index, which may not have as much implied volatility as writing under the single stock of the portfolio, Eden is able to harvest a lot more yield through that, as well as diversify some of that risk through that as well. And when we first launched the fund, we allowed that limit to be 50% of the portfolio to be written on. And we have since, and I'm happy to announce, we've increased that to 100% of the portfolio, which gives Eden a lot more flexibility and offers the investors a lot more of a ballast when it comes to a sideways market, a little bit of a down market, where you're getting paid to hold on to the fund as well. So you're not only being rewarded in up markets through the security selection that we have in place, but you're also being rewarded in terms of protecting the downside risk as well.